Daddy, why do we find fossils and bones of animals in the ground?
Well, honey, that's a real good question. I think to answer that, we have to really look at what happened way back in the Bible times when Noah built the ark and there was a big flood. Because you see, fossils are the remains of animals and plants that were buried in the earth as a result of some type of water action. So if you had a great big flood and we buried all of these animals and plants in the earth, then what happens is that their bones are left, and sometimes we go out and we dig around in the earth and we find these fossil remains. Of course, one of the things that we have to remember when we talk about fossils is that it's very difficult sometimes to see these bones and figure out what exactly an animal looked like. After all, if you just had a whole bunch of bones and you're trying to put them all together, it would be kind of hard to really make sure that you understood what all the bones looked like and how they fit together, unless, of course, you were an expert at putting bones together. So sometimes it's very difficult for us to understand exactly what a fossil looks like. Another problem that we have when we look at fossils is we really don't know what the soft parts look like. When you look in the mirror, you don't see your skeleton, do you? And so obviously, whenever you look in the mirror, you have soft parts that are attached to the bones. And so when we have bones of an animal, we really don't know exactly what some of these animals look like. And so when we find animals that are buried in the earth, we have to depend upon scientists to be able to try to reconstruct, to put the bones back together in a way that helps us understand exactly what these animals look like. And so we have lots of fossils. In fact, there's all kinds of fossils that we find buried in the earth. Some of these are mammals, some of these are reptiles, some are fish. In fact, if we really look at some of the mammals, these are animals that are warm-blooded and they've roamed on the earth, like the Macrocanea. That was a very odd-looking mammal. It had a long snout and it has 3 toes. It was a plant eater. It looked a lot like a hippo. Of course, then there's the Megatherium, and that's an animal that looks a lot like a giant bear, but really it's a sloth. Now there's kind of 3-toed sloths and things like this. That was another one of these plant eaters that lived in the earth. And of course, one of my favorite is the Smilodon, which in actuality is what we call a saber-toothed tiger. You know, it was a tiger with those great big tusks, and we look at it and we talk a lot about how these animals lived in the earth in the past. They were buried by some type of water action. Of course, in movies we've seen in the museums, that woolly mammoth, the hairy elephant, the one that has those giant tusks and has hair on the body. Well, it'd be hard to really tell exactly how much hair and stuff we have, except if you were just looking at bones, you might be able to form I don't know how it has hair on it. Could you tell from bones whether it had hair on it or not? Well, we have found some of these buried in ice, and so we really know what the whole creature looked like. And so buried in ice, actually with buttercups in their mouth and vegetation in their stomachs, we can actually tell a little bit about what these creatures look like. And it indicates that they were buried suddenly. And remember when we began talking about this, we talked about how these things were buried by a great amount of water, just like we would find in the Bible when the flood of Noah came and destroyed all of the animals and plants. Well, a giant flood that would destroy all of the earth would bury all of the animals. And what we see when we find fossils is evidence that all these animals buried in the earth in a great flood way back in Noah's time, just like the Bible says. And so when we find fossils, what we really see is evidence of the fact that God at some point was the world. Remember, the Bible tells us that man wasn't really concerned with what God had to say. And so God judged the whole world, and Noah built this ark, and he took all of the animals in it. And of course, those animals that Noah took, they survived that great flood, and they began again. But conditions are different. Some animals died out. That's why many of the animals that we see buried in the earth are just fossils. And so we have to really look at what they were and try to figure out what they were and how they lived and what they ate. And this is, of course, one of the great mysteries and one of the things that's a lot of fun for scientists to do. There's many evidences, though. Remember coal and oil? Well, coal is formed in plant life. Oil is formed from animal life. And what we have when we find coal and oil is a record of the fact that all of these things were buried back in the days of Noah, back at the time of the flood. So I don't know, I hope this answers your question about fossils, but fossils are animals that were once living on the earth, and they were buried in this great flood. And of course we see their remains and their bones, perhaps as a record to tell us that man should really obey God, and that man should follow God, and that man should do exactly what God asks us to do.